So is it on? Good evening. I'm Carol Jane with the Environmental Advisory Council, and I have the pleasure of introducing Joyce Plattfoot, who is the Executive Director of the Radnor Memorial Library, bringing nearly 2 decades of experience working in public libraries. Her library career began in high school and has included roles as reference librarian and head of reference with tenures at Ludington Library in Lower Merion and Haverford Township Free Library in Haverford Township. She holds a master's degree in library and information science from Drexel University and has served in several leadership positions within the Pennsylvania Library Association, including chair of the Southeast Chapter and chair of the Directors Institute. Throughout her career, Joyce has been committed to expanding the role of libraries as centers for community learning and engagement. Under her leadership, Radnor Memorial Library has introduced several innovative initiatives, including the new Seed Library, a program designed with support from the EAC to promote sustainability, access to resources, and hands-on learning for all ages. And now I would like to invite Joyce to come up to the podium and tell us about the Seed Library.
Thank you, Carol. And members of the Environmental Advisory Council, it's really good to be here. I'm really excited to share with you about this new project, our new Seed Library. So I'm just going to dive in. So the Seed Lending Library lends seeds free of charge to community members to sow in their home gardens. And then it provides a place for community members to bring back seeds from their gardens and share them with other community members. The goal of the Seed Library is to provide a place for seed sharing within the township, as well as educational information that will nurture and support gardeners, nature, and wildlife in our community. So why is the library involved in this work? Well, we're all about sharing, number one. We loan books and DVDs and puzzles and even unusual things like binoculars and lawn games. So being the place where community members can share seeds sort of fits in already with what we're doing. We also have extended hours. So we're open mornings, evenings, and weekends, and that makes it really convenient for people with different schedules to come by and borrow at their convenience. Number 2, we're in the business of information and education. We have an extensive collection of gardening books that is available to anyone for free called the Chanticleer Collection. It's really quite large, actually. And we partner with a lot of groups throughout the year to provide free programming on gardening. In fact, our annual Chanticleer lecture will be coming up in October. So if you're interested, keep your eyes out for the date. The third reason that we're involved in this is that it doesn't cost an individual anything to borrow library resources, which means in the case of the Seed Library that we can extend the pleasure of gardening and growing things to everyone, even those who may not have a little extra in their pocketbooks to spend on seeds. And finally, this is one way that the library can contribute to plant biodiversity, individual wellness, and natural habitats in Radnor, and it falls well within our mission. So really, how does it work? That's the most interesting thing. So as you can see in the picture here, we dusted off an old card catalog from the original library on Lancaster Avenue, and we've organized all the seeds into 4 categories: vegetables, herbs, native plants, and flowers. The catalog is located in the back part of the library in the cafe section, so it's freely kind of visible to everybody if they come in from the back door or walk through from the front door. Seeds are stored within packets that are labeled by name and placed alphabetically in their category. So for example, vegetables begin with arugula, beans, beets, broccoli. That's the librarianship playing a role there. The seed packet contains basic information like the date the seeds were collected or purchased, the place where the seeds came from, like maybe the seed company, and any other information that we know about, like the color of the flowers, the variety. You can see on this little card here, this is a card that we will work up for anything that doesn't have its own packet. So we're including growing instructions, the soil, the sun, that it's a perennial, that it's a native, any special qualities like pollinator or deer resistant. So if somebody is purchasing seeds and donating them, we'll put the packets into the catalog. But if somebody is collecting seeds and donating them, we'll use the information that they share with us and fill these cards out on the packets. So when someone finds a packet that they're interested in, they've come into the library, they've looked through the card catalog, they can find out more about the growing conditions of that particular plant by consulting a 3-ring binder, which we've placed next to the catalog. And that 3-ring binder contains the original seed packets with detailed growing and propagating instructions. They can take a picture of that seed packet with their phone, or they can make a photocopy of it on the library's copy machine and take the information with them. We also created this nifty cheat sheet with all of the seeds that we offered this past year. They're categorized in their categories, so native plant, flowers, etc. And someone could search by category, or they could look by name, and it provides just a little basic information about the plant and the growing conditions. And if they were looking for a particular seed when they came in, they could just flip through it and figure out which category it's filed under, and then look in the card catalog. So once a gardener has decided on the seeds that they'd like to check out, this is kind of an honor system. We don't have barcodes like we do on all the books. Really, all they have to do is take a checkout form, which is stored underneath the drawers on the bottom of the card catalog. And then they just fill in that form with the date and the number of packets and the name that they're taking. It's an anonymous form. Nobody has to put their name on it. And this is a way for us to be able to track how many seed packets are going out and also what varieties people are checking out. And we can kind of also in the future monitor what's going out first and what we run out of, so where the interest really is, which is pretty cool. So we're asking people just to limit themselves to 4 packets a month as a starter. That way there's seeds left for other people, and then, you know, eventually if we have lots and lots and lots of seeds, we can always increase it. That's the dream. Once a gardener has checked out their seeds, then they can take them home. They can plant them, they can cultivate them, and of course, enjoy them. So after their plants have grown, we're hoping that gardeners will consider collecting seeds and bringing them back to the library to share. So for instance, this year I collected some Baptisia seeds, pods. Baptisia produces like these dark gray pods with seeds in them. And so I emptied the pods. I placed the seeds out on a little tray and I let them sit out and I let them dry. And then I put them in a Ziploc bag and I brought them to the library. So that's the same thing. Gardeners who are interested can collect seeds from their plants. They can let them dry and then place them in an envelope or a Ziploc bag and bring them back to the library. And then at the library, we have this seed donation form, which you see up on the screen. It's also found underneath the drawers. And it has a lot of questions on it. So we ask gardeners to fill it out to the best of their ability. They might not be able to fill everything in, but to fill in as much of information as they can. And then if they place the 2 pieces together into the bin, what we do is we collect those and we go through them and then we repackage all the seeds in little envelopes for the catalog. So it's pretty nice little round system. So just a few things that we ask gardeners to be aware of. when they're collecting seeds. Of course, we want the seeds to come to us clean and dry. So for instance, like vegetable seeds, we don't want any of the wet organic matter coming to us. You know, hopefully gardeners have a little bit of time to clean those and let them dry out. And then also collecting hybrid seeds from hybrid plants and bringing them in is not a very viable way to pass on plants, because when it's replanted, the plant won't have the same qualities as the original hybrid. So we ask people not to bring in seeds from hybrid plants. If people want to purchase a package of hybrid seeds and give them to us, that's a brand new hybrid seed, that's fine. But collecting seeds from hybrid plants doesn't have a lot of viability down the road, so it's not a great thing to share. And we have material in the library that explains all of this, because we have a lot of great resources. So, for instance, some seeds require a cold period to germinate. Some should be sown directly into the ground rather than transplanted from a pot. So we've provided a whole list of resources. We've got a curated list of books that are available in our collection and that people can request and borrow. We have a list of online resources that are available, and then we have different handouts available right there next to the seed catalog that people can look at while they're kind of looking at everything. All of these resources are also posted on our website at radnorlibrary.org/seed-library. You can see the URL at the bottom. So, how can you get involved? Well, you can collect and donate seeds from your garden. We were able to start our seed library with the help of the Environmental Advisory Council and donations from seed-saving organizations and businesses, and even a high school whose students had collected seeds from the garden they were tending in their experiential learning program. They were in the Midwest, actually. But now is a great time of year to collect seeds from some of the plants in your own garden. If you have a moment, go out and see what's available. We need to replenish the seeds that were distributed in spring and early summer for next year. Also, remember that different plants produce seeds at different times of the year, so you can actually collect seeds in the spring, in the early summer, and the midsummer, depending on the kind of plant. Another way that you can get involved is to check out some seeds for your garden. This year, so far, we have checked out 270 packets of seeds. So I think that's pretty successful. That was initially almost all of the seeds that we had. We were pretty wiped out by the time midsummer came along. And just recently, we received another donation from the EAC. So we have seeds now in the library that can be sown now and will come up in the spring, which is really cool. And then over the next couple months and in the spring, we'll continue to replenish those seeds so that there's a fresh crop of seeds for next year. You can join our new Garden Corps. So the Garden Corps will be made up of volunteers who want to help us process seed donations and maintain the seed library, but also volunteers who might be interested in helping us maintain the gardens at the library and the outdoor spaces. So if you're interested in helping, you can speak with my colleague who is here tonight, Gay Lacey, or of course you can call us or email us at any time. You could spread the word, which the EAC did in the spring, and we really appreciate it. I think that's why we found so much success already. And I know I don't have to tell you what a delight that gardening is, but if you spread the word to your neighbors and let them know, maybe we can sow a little bit of fun in the township. And if people have pictures of things that they grew, tell them to send them to us. We'll post them to social media. And that's it for tonight. That's it for our seed library. So I just want to shout out the Environmental Advisory Council once again, and Carol and Angiana, who came to us originally with this idea and then promoted it at the Native Plant Giveaway in April. We had been thinking of starting this seed library for a lot of years, and that was just kind of the interest, the little nudge from residents who had, you know, a little interest in this project to kind of push us to go ahead and dive in. So thank you. Are there any questions? Yeah.
I have a question. So in your four categories, is there any overlap? Does it mean that flowers are not native?
Yes. So the question for the people online is there overlap between the four categories? So for instance, you might have flowers that are non-native. And the answer is yes, there is overlap, and we just decide which one we think is a little more the priority for categorizing it. Yeah. Yeah, Laura.
How old can you hold your seeds? You know, that's always been a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at Gay.
Well, as I just learned last week from Shannon,
Come up, Gay, to the microphone for the people online. So the question was, how long can you keep your seeds? I think for the library, I'll answer for the library, and then you can answer in general. I think for the library, we want them to be kind of viable within the year. You know, so if we collect them this year, we plant them next year, and then we will probably remove them, or we'll put them in a drawer that's marked a little older, because you know you're taking a risk then that they may not be viable. But Gay, go ahead.
Well, I first want to say I'm not the expert, but from what I understand, seeds are viable for a lot longer than you might initially believe that they were, because I had always thought, oh, if it's not the current year or within 2 years, forget it. But as I was saying, I had been to a native seed saving workshop at Chanticleer last week, and Prashemik, who was doing the presentation, said, you know, you can have seeds that will work as far out as 5-6 years. So it's an it depends answer, but that's where our resources at the library come in, you know, where you can research a particular plant, or you can look it up online and find out, you know, different things about it. So I see this as sort of an educational process as well as just offering the free seeds, because obviously we are all about learning and knowledge. So there's a lot to learn, which I am learning. Thank you.
Are there other? Sven, did you have a question?
Oh, I just had it. I can also come up and ask.
Oh, thank you.
So when we did the planting on the parking lots last year in front of your library, we discussed it with Chanticleer, and Chanticleer said to us the ideal space to do some showcase planting of biodiversity is actually right in front of your library, where you have this little strip of lawn.
Yes.
Yeah, where the terrace is, and then there's the lawn, and then comes the sidewalk. Well, would you be open to think about it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's have some conversations. That sounds great.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Way to get me on the record. I love it. No, that's really exciting. It sounds like a really cool project. Let's talk. Are there any questions from online?
I don't see any, no.
Well, if there are no other questions, then we'll conclude. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here, and thanks for inviting me. Yeah. Super cool.
Come by,
Yeah,
bring all my seeds.
please do.